See, am I live, folks? See, am I live here? It looks like I'm live. There we go. I think looks like I'm live here. I'm really sorry about that, folks. I'm really sorry. This computer was really going. I gotta get a new computer here. This is 5 years old now. This computer I'm using. It's oh Lord. Oh man. I should. Oh man. Excuse me. I'm so sorry, guys. I know I canceled it. Hopefully, you guys are still here. I apologize for the technical difficulties. We're gonna get right into it here. I'm gonna try to get past all that here. Let's see. Anyone showing up here? Oh, I can't stay long. That's okay, Michael. Yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, I'm still working on this setup here. I know I'm gonna be bouncing in and out of YouTube and the tier maker here, but yeah, thanks for dropping in. No matter how long you can stay, man, I really do appreciate you jumping in anyway. But thanks for being in. Happy New Year to you as well. And thanks to anyone who's joining in here. I don't know if you'll be watching live or you'll be catching it later in the VOD here, but it's gonna be a good time here. And I gotta try to get past that here. All that technical difficulty here. I really wanted to be right on the money here about that, but again, bear with me. I haven't done this this is the second time in about 5 years I've gone live with this new and all that stuff. So it's gonna happen here, and just gotta put this past here and just have the focus on the fun here. I'm really looking forward to this here because last August was the U.S. premiere of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and prior to that point now, when it comes to game shows in the U.S., the only chance you really had at that in the 90s was to be on cable. We saw many cable game shows like Supermarket Sweep, Shop Till You Drop, Legends of the Hidden Temple, and so many others succeed on cable. But when it came to networks like CBS, ABC, NBC, Fox, and syndication for that matter, it was more about like talk shows and all that. Game shows weren't really a thing. Didn't have much of a tight grip on the market back then at that point in time. But come 1999, when ABC saw the success of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire across the pond there, they knew that they had something there. And that debuted in August of 1999, and it was an overnight sensation. And other networks took note of that, and they wanted in on this as well. So, and we're going to go through this in chronological order here. And I relabeled the tiers here. Confetti drop being the best of the best. Like we saw a confetti drop when Big Money's won. We see all the shows, most of the shows that had the Big Money won. Freebie, named for the freebie from Greed, is like a great show. It's not quite at the top level, not quite S tier, but very, very close to being so. 50/50, named for the Lifeline on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. It's like a very good show, but need more iron to iron out the wrinkles. There's some like a little it's almost there, but needs some working, needs some kinks to work out. Swap Out meaning like you can watch it once, but it's nothing to write home about. It's maybe one time, see it's all about, what they have to offer, and the worst of the worst. Swap Out is from Paranoia, one of the lifelines on Paranoia, by the way. I'll get to that a little bit later here. And Llama is the label given for anyone who missed the first 5 questions on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire and left with nothing at all. And these are the war shows of them all. And when looking at this here, there's really only one show that really deserves to be down in that bottom tier. We'll get to that in just a matter of moments here, but let me bounce back here. Oh, yes. Hi, Ash. Happy New Year, and hello, Biff. I'm glad you can stay here. Oh, Wilkin, did I say hi to you, Wilkin? I missed you. I think I missed you before. Yes, but glad to have you here, Wilkin, as well. And yeah, and we'll get to Greed in just a minute here. We'll talk about that, actually. We're going to talk about that in just a matter of moments here. But let's not waste any time here. We'll start with Millionaire here. If this show was not successful, if this was a flop, none of the other networks, or cable, there's actually 2 cable game shows here, none of them, if this show was a failure, none of them would have jumped on the bandwagon. And this proved once again, that networks do work in on network television. With I mentioned before, with the dramatic lighting, dramatic setting, the music, great host and Regis, great top prize, and some neat use of audience, getting the audience involved, both the studio audience and home audience alike. You can ask the audience and get their input on a question to see if hope they know a little bit something about the questions and the question at hand. Hopefully your buddy at home or your coworker knows a little something about the questions here. They can help you get to 1 million. And eventually over time it jumped the shark. The ABC version did. It moved to syndication for half hour daily syndicated version with Meredith Vieira as host. Though the network version would come back on ABC a couple of different times with Super Millionaire with a bigger top prize of, I think it was $4 million, I believe. And they have had like a double, also had 2 additional lifelines in Double Dip and Ask the Experts. We have some experts, trivia experts sequestered off stage, and they can offer input on that, on the question there. And then back for the 10th anniversary, and that was, and we all know Ken Basin was the first American contestant to lose the $1 million question there. But beside all that, it's a great show. I mentioned all that, but I think there's at least one show. If you watch my Chuck Woolery rankings video, you know there's at least one show that I think is better than this. I don't think it's, I want to put this here, but I think it actually goes in freebie. I know it's a show that started it all, but I think it's not quite there. So other shows did it better, but it's not this next show coming up here. For the longest time, I thought, well, let me see. Let me check back in with Pat, with chat here. I know, just making sure I'm not missing anybody here. So for years and years, I thought Greed on Fox was the first attempt to compete with Millionaire. I was wrong. I'm sure a lot of people didn't realize this. I just only found out this show about 2 or 3 years ago with the $1 Million Word Game. It aired on a cable network called America One. Yeah, I know. I've never heard of it either. I just saw it a few years ago on YouTube. Game Show Gumbo actually did a video on that, induction on that. And wow, if you want to see a Dollar Tree version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, you got it right here in the $1 Million Word Game. It's community college Millionaire, actually. You look at the set, the music, it sounds like the sound effects all came from like a cheap $20 Casio keyboard. Had a chain of you progress up the ladder just like Millionaire, but instead of trivia questions, you have to solve anagrams. They give you a word and you have to make different words with the same letters. I think the first level was a 3-letter word, and you had to make another word out of that, and it got progressively harder. And the first tier you won $1,000, second tier you won a trip, and here's the kicker. It's called the $1 Million Word Game, but yet if you get through all 14 tiers, all 14 levels, you don't necessarily win the million. You could win a car, you could win $75,000. If you advertise the top prize in your show's title, you better damn well offer that advertised top prize. You go through all that, contestant goes through all that hard work, putting together anagram, and oh my god, this show is awful. Oh my god, llama. Oh my god. There are about 2 episodes on YouTube. Check out yourself. Oh wow. It makes you wonder, did they even have the budget to give away any prizes at all? How cheap? It looks like it was like $100 budget. Oh my god, that was an awful show. Oh god. $1 Million Word Game. And Ian Jamieson, the host, he looks like he was just going through the motions. I want you to make 4 words with the letters in this word and go. He's just going through the motions. It feels like a Saturday Night Live skit. It doesn't feel like a legitimate show at all. That was awful. Yep. Laughing clip. Yes, the very first American $1 Million. John Carpenter. Yes. John, that was legendary. Calling in, letting him know he was going to win that million. I think it was his dad, I believe. Oh, hey, that guy. How you doing today? Happy, Yeah, you do have to see at least one. It's seeing is believing, man. You do have to. Weakest host felt overrated. Yeah, the reason why I didn't include that in this list here because at that point it had elements of the other big game shows, but wasn't quite the same. That came a little late to the party, so I excluded the weakest link from that particular list here. But we will talk about the weakest link in another video, though. Yes. Oh yeah, and the $1 Million Word Game was horrible. Yes. But here's a good show. Here, if you saw the Chuck Woolery tier maker here, you know what's up here. Greed. Oh, Millionaire was awesome. Greed was even better. You thought oh wow, the soundtrack. This was even was creepy. Oh man, creepy, tense lighting, and on top of all that, there's a bit of you gotta be on your toes every time because you want to make sure you're playing the game well. Because the $2 million top prize for the first couple of week episodes, though, it increased. It was an increasing jackpot. I forgot how much it went up by. I think it was like 1,000, I believe, for each day. It wasn't one. Each episode, it wasn't one. Each game, it wasn't one. I should say. Let me see. I can't remember what was offhand. No, it wasn't $1,000. It might have been $100,000. Let me take a look at that here. I think because when Dana Avila went for it here. He was going for $2.2 million, and that was in the like the third episode or something like that. It has been, I think it was more of like $100,000 increased by for every episode. It wasn't for every game. It wasn't one. Yeah. So I think that's what it was, and but then when it became a regular series, it was just a straight $2 million. Then they went to they had a special month of shows called Super Greed, where the money went up. The top prize was $4 million. And I think like the let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think the fifth tier was for $1 million. The 4 or 5. The fifth tier, I can't remember what was offhand. But like the top two tiers, the top three tiers is like $1 million, $2 million, and then $4 million, if I remember correctly, off the top of my head. So it was Super Greed, and that's the part where the Jaguar was one, as mentioned before in the chat there. I think it was the first episode of Super Greed under the Super Greed format. They're given a chance to bail out. There was only 2 contestants left. Some of the others got eliminated by the Terminator, which I'll get to later here. But they got a Jaguar and I think it was like $50,000 in cash. I'm assuming it has to help with pay the taxes and all that. So, this show was great. I'm going to do I plan to do like a whole long form video dedicated to Greed here, because there's a lot to say about Greed. There really is. It's so much better than Millionaire. Millionaire was great. Greed even better. Greed is good. Greed is great. Yep, just like this. So it is. Yes, we can say that again. And it was hard. It was not easy to get to $1 million on Greed. Any other big? Exactly, man. That's what made it so much better. That really is, honestly, Wilkin. That was that little add extra element of cutthroat. Who you ever know? When it was time for the Terminator, you can sell the contestants who are on the tense look on the contestants' faces here, waiting to see whether they're going to be on the chopping block or not. And honestly, though, hey Cole fam, I didn't see you come in there. Good to see you too. Welcome to the stream. But yeah, Terminator. The interesting thing I learned about the Terminator was Dick Clark, who was the producer, one of the executive producers of the show, he didn't want the Terminator on there. He wanted it to be all for one, all the way through. But Fox was insisted at adding that the Terminator to the game here. And honestly, I can't imagine Greed without the Terminator. It really does feed into the contestants' need for greed, really. It just makes the game that more exciting, honestly. But again, I'm going to go into more in depth about Greed a little bit later on down the line here in a future video here, because it's amazing. It's such a good show. And you know what? I think I have these out of order here. I think 21 actually premiered before Winning Lines. Actually, I think by a week or two it premiered by it premiered. So I think I'm gonna do 21 for. Let me just research that real quickly here. Yeah, I know, guys. I should have done this beforehand here. But then again, it's a live stream, though. Sometimes the facts get lost in the shuffle here. So January 8th. Okay, I think Winning Lines is the correct is correct in the timeline here. Yes, yes, yep. Oh, I think it was just by a day. Just by a day, just by a day. Okay, there we go. I was right. I thought I was right the first time. Winning Lines, they just a day before 21. So Winning Lines it is. Now, this is actually another, also from the people who created Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, came over from the UK. And this version now was, for the US version, was produced by Stone Stanley Productions. You may know them better as the producers of shows like Fun House, Shop Till You Drop, and Legends of the Hidden Temple. So they really got into the big money game here with Winning Lines. Now this is a unique one as it has some trivia questions mixed in with some numbers. Like it's all a game all about numbers. So you had this whole group of 49 contestants here. They all try to answer questions with a number attached to it. And the first 6 contestants wanted a sudden death. And in that round, all the questions related to the number, or all the 6 numbers attached to each of the contestants, assigned numbers to the contestants. And Dick Clark would then Dick Clark hosted the show, by the way. He was also the executive producer of Greed at the time, so he was pulling double duty there, producing one and hosting the other. So Dick Clark would read a question, and the first player to buzz in would give that number. If they were right, and if it was another opponent's number, they were eliminated. If it was their number that they answered with, they were safe. However, if they buzzed in and they gave the wrong number, regardless of whose number it was, they were out. And this process repeated until there was only one contestant left. They won $2,500 and moved on to the Wonder Wall. And the other contestant got $1,000 here. And then the Wonder Wall had, I think, 3 minutes to answer questions of money chain. I think it was 20 questions to $1 million. The Wonderwall had numbers and attached to the numbers or the answers now. So when Dick Clark would read the question, you had 10 seconds to answer, I believe, or was it 15? I can't remember. So then you give the number and the answer. If you're right, you moved up the money chain. If you're wrong, a strike, 3 strikes, and you're out. You lose all the money you accumulated at the Wonderwall, but the $2,500 you won is safe. And along the line, you can also pass twice and have 2 pit stops, which allow you to look at the board for 15 seconds. This clock will stop. Then when that time's up, the pit stop time is up. Play resumed and the main game clock resumed. So this was a good, really exciting too. The only gripe about this is it was a half hour. And they spent much of that time promoting the home audience game, the home telephone game, where the last numbers of each of the contestants, 6 qualifying contestants from the first round, plus the last number given at the Wonderwall, and the second number had to match the phone number. And if that number on the show matched your phone number, whether it be a mobile or home number, in any order, you won $50,000. I think they spent way too much time promoting the game. It really cut into the show itself. I'm guaranteed there wasn't really a whole lot of meat on the bone anyway. For Winning Lines, it was good for what they had though, but they spent too much time promoting the home game, I think. So I think Winning Lines goes about 50-50. It was a good show there. I think they need a little more work here. Maybe like for sudden death, maybe instead of sudden death, maybe like a 60-second speed round where all the answers are still the numbers in front of the contestants there, but make it 60 seconds. And because in sudden death, one contestant's guaranteed, if you don't buzz in with your own number, you're a sitting duck. You have no chance of winning. I think if you make it like a 60-second speed round, everyone has a fair chance of making it. So that may be a little more exciting. Maybe a minute and a half, maybe even, to make it more put more into it. But so not a bad show, but I think there could have been more for Winning Lines. Let's see here. Good, yeah, good to see you too, Slug. Yeah, absolutely, Wilkin. Yes, I have a lot more. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I'm gonna do this live. But I'll do that. But next Monday, the 6th, with the 50th anniversary of Wheel of Fortune, I'm gonna rank all the hosts of that. So there's tons more. I'm gonna go deep into these shows, talk about other shows, Wheel of Fortune, Supermarket Sweep, Shop Till You Drop. I'm gonna do a lot with this series here. Oh wow, 10 viewers. Thanks for being here, guys. GSN, yes, naturally stoned. Yep, coinciding with Lingo. He was doing Lingo at the time, of course. I haven't seen that. I gotta check out some episodes of that. It looks like the show I'm like hosting it as a real life. I know he's a fisherman in real life there. I'm gonna say I want to see. I wonder if they're on YouTube. Those episodes are on YouTube. I have to check that out. Oh, back to Greed. By the way, here would be a good a future idea. So we talked about in the previous Shoemaker video about the UK version. I think someone else mentioned the Australian version. I think it was Michael who mentioned that. Michael mentioned the foreign versions of that. It'd be a fun. I've only seen like bits and pieces of the UK version. It'd be fun if we could do a live reaction of that. See how it compares to our US version. That'd be a fun watch to do. I'll let you know on that in the future here for all these other shows I'm planning to do. Lingo. That was an addicting show there, man. Yep, back in 2 and 2 after this. Yes, he was known for that. It's classic go-to right there. And yeah, we missed Chuck, man. He was one of the greats, man. Okay, but 21. Back to the Tier Maker video here. 21, hosted by Maury Povich on NBC, a revival of the '50s show that was notorious for rigging, but no rigging here in this version now. Standards and practices have tightened up since then. And Maury Povich, the host, you're not going to find any paternity or maternity tests here, but instead you're going to find some general knowledge questions here, multiple choice. 2 contestants competing in soundproof booths. The first to get to 21 wins. However, unless your opponent still is within striking distance of 21, they have one last chance to make it to 21. And if they get the question wrong, or they ask for, what you do is you ask for points, how many points you want to go for, and you try to get to 21. Obviously, 1 point being the easiest of questions, 11 points being the hardest of questions. 1 through 6 has 3 choices. 7 through 10 has 4 choices. Most of the time being with the 4th being none of the above, and the 11-point question having 5 choices and 2 correct responses. So had to play a little had to be strategic with that there. Also, when it comes to lifelines, you had a second chance, which is basically an in-studio phone a friend. You can bring out once per game. And oh, by the way, if you miss a question, it's a strike. 3 strikes, you're out. And if your second chance comes out, and if you get, if you get the question right, you get the points added that yes requested. But if you bring a second chance and it's wrong, you get 2 strikes instead of 1. So definitely want to be careful. Only if you use your second chance if you're confident that your second chance knows it. So it could be a friend or a coworker, what have you. So if they know it, or if you have no strikes at all, then you gotta be very strategic with your second chance. So 3 strikes you're out, and at that also, it doesn't necessarily mean that your opponent wins if you strike out if the one contestant strikes out. It is a positive because and here the games are played to completion. So if I remember correctly, it's been a long time, but if you have I think if you strike out and your opponent only has 1 strike and has not used their second chance, they still play the game. However, if they did use their second chance and they have a strike or less, or if they then the game's over and they win. And early on, the first there's 7 levels of gameplay. First win was worth $100,000 and increased from there, going up to $1 million. Later, the money was decreased to $25,000 for the first tier, increasing to $1 million. And then, if you win 7 games, the chain repeats itself. You start at the beginning and keep building from there. And you stayed on the show until you were defeated. The sky was the limit there. In between games, there was a perfect 21 bonus round, each 6 true false questions, adding up to 21. And each point in that in the perfect 21 bonus round was worth $10,000 to you. So you can win up to $210,000 in bonus money. So you answer 6 true or false questions. You can stop along the way, but if you miss a question along the way at any point, you lose all the money in the perfect 21, but your main game winnings were safe. They wouldn't touch that. And so this was a good show too. Dramatic music. For a while, it was a nice set. It kind of reminded me. It wasn't like the dark futuristic sets that the other shows were using. This kind of reminded me more of like a hotel lobby or a airport lounge. Initially, the music they actually had an in-house orchestra performing the music live. That was a really nice touch. Nice touch with the soundproof booths. Like a nice callback to the original '50s version here. Eventually, the music came a little more intense, more dramatic as the series progressed. And Maury he did a good job here. I think he did a pretty good job here. He was a little rough around the edges here. He was kind of had a dry sense of humor here, but he was sincere. He was warming. He was welcoming of the contestants. He kept the game going at a good pace here. The only game show he did, but he did well. I think had the show continued for a little bit longer. It got picked up for another season. He would have came into his own there, but it got ended in May of 2000. But there was still about 5 episodes unaired that eventually aired on PAX TV, which we now know as Ion Television here in the States. And PAX at the time, of course, and had a NBC, I should say, rather, owned a share of PAX TV at the time. So this allowed NBC to kind of shell out programming to PAX, and they aired the rest of the unaired episodes in the summer of 2000, throughout the summer of 2000. So I'm going to say this. I don't think it's. I'm going to put this right behind Greed. I still like Greed a little bit better, but 21 could be very exciting if contestants get on a good run like David Legler or Raheem, I forgot his last name, was one of the biggest money winners there in 21 history. Just an amazing show. Should have got a lot longer run there. And next up, we have coming down to the nitty gritty here. Paranoia, the second of the cable game shows on this list here. Fox Family. It was once the Family Channel, became Fox Family, then ABC Family, and now Freeform. So this was hosted by Peter Tamarkin of Press Your Luck fame. And this was live. This would be the very last game show that Peter Tamarkin has ever hosted throughout his career. It was live, and this was interesting here. There's so many elements going on. You had the in-studio contestant, then you had 3 remote contestants playing from all over the United States in their homes and what have you. There were 11 questions you had to answer, and you were saved with $10,000 at the beginning. And you answered first the remote contestants locked in their guesses. Then the in-studio contestant took their guess. If they're right, their $10,000 remained, or any money they had would not be deducted from their score. But if they're wrong, they had to give up $10,000 of their bank. Then regardless, they had to challenge at least one remote contestant on the board there. And if they were right, they won $1,000, and the $1,000 came, another $1,000 would be deducted from the in-studio contestant. And then throughout the game, but if they're wrong, they got a strike, and 2 strikes, they're out of the game. But that wasn't the only way remote contestant could be moved from the game. Contestants had 2 helps throughout the game. One was a swap out, and the other was a knockout. Swap out would cost you $1,000 at the in-studio contestant's bank, and you'd use that on one of the contestants you'd eliminate one contestant. They'd be swapped out for a new contestant, remote contestant, I should say. And knockout, as it implies, just eliminates the remote contestant from the game altogether, and it costs you $3,000. So it's best to use that when there's only one remote contestant left and you have at least $4,000 in your bank. And then you'd win the game. The in-studio contestant would win and advance to the bonus round. And but all contestants, the remote contestant got to keep whatever money they won along the way. And during this time, also they had phone contestants, they had internet contestants playing along. That would kind of deduct from the interactive jackpot that started at $1,000, and they go down each time the interactive players won. And so whatever money was left to go to a bonus round of 10 categories, they pick one and to try to multiply it, I think by 10, I believe, was the most, I believe, from that. And they would answer one question, open-ended, if they got right, their money's multiplied by the amount chosen. If not, they just won the money they won in the main game. And then they're also at times between games they'd pick internet contestant answer a question for a home computer prize, and then both the phone and internet contestant would play. There's a lot going on. What else am I missing here about that show? It was live, and so with a live show, a lot can go wrong here. I remember sometimes they'd lose connection with the internet contestants, and they'd go the wrong contestant when swapping out a contestant here. They'd go so the previous contestant be back, whatever. One time, Peter Tomarken actually signed off of the show, said goodbye when there's still one segment left to go in the show to at least introduce a new contestant. But he handled it, being the consummate professional he was, he handled it well. And the set was a blue screen rather, as you can tell. It tried to be, it did too much, as you can see. It tried to do way too much. It was trying to be way too hard to be different. It was a good idea on paper. It definitely needs some work, though. I'd say this goes in swap out. OKC once, but I don't know if it's still a chance necessarily with everything that was going on. And it only lasted for a month, and that was that. I think Pierce said, it actually acknowledged that it was supposed to be a preview month. I think it was going to be a regular series thereafter. He told the viewers, to write the Fox family, email them, or what have you, tell me what you thought about Paranoia. And I guess people thought they didn't get enough positive reviews from the audience, so it only lasted a month, and that was that for Paranoia. Yeah, it's way too much going on. Happy New Year, Suspicious Links. And yeah, so we're getting that. This is it, guys. Last one, Chance of a Lifetime, another Fox show here, and it came at the tail end here. This one was the shortest lived out of them all here. Only lasted a week, and it looks on the surface, definitely looks like Millionaire with the set design, all that with the two chairs and the monitors, the contestant host setup. There's no fastest finger, no qualifying question, what have you. Gordon Elliott from Australia, who previously hosted A Current Affair, was a correspondent on A Current Affair, hosted this show. He also was one of the many hosts of the 1990 revival of To Tell the Truth. That was there's a revolving door of hosts there. That one was, but that's for another video here. Chance of a Lifetime. Contestant would be called from the audience. He would say, "It's your chance of a lifetime, so and so." They come down, and to start the game, they had a credit card bill. You had to have a credit card bill in order to play, and if you got first question right, they'd pay off your credit card bill, and they'd do it, and you'd put it through a shredder, and you'd proceed through the game. But if you miss it, the game's over, and you get nothing. But then you go on, you try to answer 9 questions. You start with $5,000, excuse me, $5,000, and you get that right. Then from that point on, you actually made wagers from that point on to answer all the rest of the 9 questions, the remaining 8 questions. And you got to see the categories that were chosen at random, and then you see the categories chosen, then make a wager, then pose a question by Gordon, and you would either you could and these are open-ended questions. Although you could make it though you do have some second chances. You can also make it a multiple choice, which you get along the way here, and also you can swap out if you're not unsure. You can also swap out a question that fits your area of expertise, your favorite category. And then if you get to the third and final tier of 3 questions, you get a last chance. You use you can use either one of the previous second chances here. It could be either the swap, maybe make a multiple choice question, or a question of your choosing. And but you can't use both though in the last chance. And only one contestant was able to go all the way to $1 million in a short amount of time. His name, and that they won about $1,004,000 and change for that. And Gordon Elliott, he was really It's too bad he didn't do more game shows. He was really inviting contestants. He was warm. He was charming. He really made good banter with contestants here. He made him feel at ease. He kind of talked to him. He was really interested about their personal interests and hobbies and all that, learning about the family. He really cared. He really showed great care for the contestants here. He wanted them to do well. And it's really a shame he didn't do more game shows. He had great potential, and it's really a shame. Had this show got picked up for a regular series, it would have been a weekly series around for Wednesdays at 8, if I remember correct, if I did my research correctly on that. But it's really, and you know what, even though on the surface it definitely looks like a Millionaire clone, it definitely does enough to keep it separate from Millionaire. With the open-ended questions, unless you ask for the multiple choice second chance, and the wagering and all that. This actually kind of as a foreshadowing the shuffle format on the syndicated Millionaire. Actually, only this was done better. I'd say this goes right here in the freebie tier. So there we go. And after that, Chance of a Lifetime was canceled. There was only two at that point: Greed and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Of course, because Greed and Chance of a Lifetime, the only reason they were canceled was because the Fox Network at the time appointed a new president or CEO of programming at the time, and they didn't like game shows. They wanted to focus on the scripted shows, and both shows met with their ultimate their untimely demise, which is a real shame, especially for Greed, because that was my favorite of the bunch right here, top tier right here. I can't wait to get to that. I want. That's what I want. That was my initial plan for the New Year's Eve video here, to do that long form Greed video here, but unfortunately, I want to get a little more. I want to get a little more in place here, do a little more editing here, get my bearings straight here before I continue that here, as I dip my toes back in the water here and get back into content creation here. But that will be coming. I'm probably going to do that in July when the 25th anniversary of the show's final episode aired. So look out for that here, and a bunch of others here. But yeah. It absolutely, yeah, both of them. It was such a shame that both those shows got such a short-lived run here, especially Greed. I can't say enough about Greed, but yeah, guys, that's it. That's the tier maker video here. I didn't put this in I didn't put the link in the description. I'll do that later here, because anytime I do one of these tier maker videos here, if you want to get involved here, I'd love to hear your input on this, see how you rank them. These are so much fun. These are so much fun to do here. Let me tell you. And I know I'm gonna do a lot more game show videos too. I know a lot of you. Some people may not be. People like I know. Yes, we do have some game show fans here. It's been established here between this one and my Chuck Woolery tier maker video here that there are people here who share the common interest. Now I know the ratio between this and the ratio from game show fans to say let's play or food drink review fans, it may be lower in comparison, but as long as there are people who love the genre and love it just as much as I do, I'm going to continue with these videos here. And it could be these tier maker videos, it could be like traditional ranking videos, top 10s, reviews, comparison to formats, what have you. One video I'm going to do is kind of compare a Shop Till You Drop to other shows that have like a mall theme to them here. I'm going to be doing that sometime down the road here. I'm going to do a supermarket sweep video coinciding with the 35th anniversary of the David Ruprecht version, perhaps the most memorable version, the definitive version of supermarket sweep out there. And the sky's the limit here. I mentioned the Wheel of Fortune, ranking the host. I'm going to probably premiere that one here, depending on how late I'm out on Monday. Even though it's my Friday, I'd like to go live with that. I'm guaranteed for that one, there's going to be some hot takes here when it comes to hosts. There's going to be some hot takes, guarantee that. Yeah, looking forward to that. Oh yeah, very good. I'm glad, Cole fam. I'm glad I'm doing my part. Hope your Christmas. Once again, I'm watching heard of. Yeah, I hope you're getting some good interest in this, Cornelian, and hope you get loving it here, and glad to have you here, and hope you're having a good New Year's Eve. Play food. Yeah, exactly. That's also part of my series here. I do plan on doing some video game shows here. Supermarket Soup, the bonus points. I love my favorite episode of Married with Children, as a matter of fact. Cole Fam. Weirdest games as I can find. That would be a good video too. The most bizarre ones here. The sky's the limit with this. And I mentioned this in. I'm going to call this game show and check. Game and Show. I think that's a good title for my series right there. Game and Show. So looking at that, so we got game shows, retro let's plays, food and drink reviews. Who could ask for anything more here? Let me tell you, it's gonna be good. We got some good times here. I'm so looking forward to this, guys. We're gonna have some good times here. So so again, I'll put, if you're interested, I'll put the link to this tier maker. It does, doesn't it, Cole Fam? Absolutely. And so looking forward to this. So we're gonna put I'll put the link to the tier maker if you're interested in doing this. And again, hopefully, Married with Children is such a great series, man. Oh Lord, I'm watching. I'm probably gonna watch them on Prime when we're done here. Oh man, isn't there gonna be actually, it was discussed, like an animated reboot of that eventually. I gotta look into that. I thought there was something was official about that. We're gonna have to. Oh, yeah, I actually kind of returned a couple. I did a video actually. I kind of returned like last with Christmas Eve. Someone gave me for my work gave me this like little goodie bag of snacks. Here's up on my video here for Christmas. It was really good. She gave me. So definitely go check that out if you haven't, Cold Fam. Go check that out, Cold Fam. If you all the others, if you haven't, folks here in the chat, if you haven't seen that, that's some good stuff here. It is really good. I really like partial to the. They had in that mix was like a Rolo pretzel Rolo M&M stack here. It was really good. Yeah, I gotta wait and see what happens there with the animated version of that. So yeah, so many videos to come up with, guys. But anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy your New Year's Eve here. And I hope you had a great time. Oh hey, Dr. Eggman, just came in here at the end here, man. But good to see you anyway, man. Just had a baby. Oh, congratulations, man. Yeah, man. There you go. Hey, good to hear that, buddy. Yeah, and hope everything's doing well with the family there. Yeah, glad new chapter of your life and all that stuff. Cool, fam. It's gonna be great, man. Yeah, some exciting times for you too, buddy. Yeah, man. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. So I'm gonna wrap it up here and let you guys do your thing, do party out here, and have a good old time here. And thank you all for being here. Christmas and New Year's to you. And I look forward to seeing you here. Next game show related video is gonna be, like I said, January 6th, Wheel of Fortune's 50th anniversary, ranking the host. It's gonna be a premiere or a live stream. I'll let you know in the community tabs. But until then. A happy New Year and holidays, everybody. Until then, I'll see you guys in 2025, everybody. Take care.